honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I would not want to be an offensive lineman in today's NFL, especially not a center or a guard, if you got to deal with these massive defensive tackles who could not just beat you with strength, but they can beat you with quickness and guile as well. They can get upfield and make plays. And a lot of times what they're taught, just go ahead and tackle everyone that comes in your area and keep the one with the ball.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is third down. Throwing on third down, Luck. Over the middle here, it's Hilton. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. So the D-line's going to spread out. They go play action here on first down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is caught. It's Dorsett for the Colts touchdown. Philip Dorsett with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Colts are going to take a first quarter lead. Such an art to dot the I, just get the feet in right there against the line before going out of bounds.
Such an incredibly graceful, athletic play, but also a lot of practice goes into it. They work on that to make sure that they learn how to train their feet to get down in bounds.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. And he'll bang that one through. Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Oh, nice move. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 yards with a new rule as he's taken down right at the 20-yard line. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket. Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage. Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and it'll be second and very short.
Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back. And now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense. Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there. 3
yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. First carry for Thomas Rawls. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with third down coming up. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
False start, offense.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups. And they had one. They were just...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And able to find Graham, complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up.
Brandon, a lot of times coaches see these situations present themselves on film. But how often do they actually call it? We just saw it here, and what an end result. A huge touchdown off of a terrific call.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
It's a pickup of 19, and the Colts are going to have a first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And here are the defensive starters. In your old position, you get to talk about the secondary.
The best athletes on the field, Brandon.
Debatable.
Well, we'll see how this goes today. I love the way you put my guys down. But you know this, they've got to cover and they have to tackle. They have a heck of a task in front of them in this game. They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. 5 yards left for the offense. It's second down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Luck now to throw. Allen has it, left side. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They run it again with Williams. And a cut, and he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Damian Williams with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Colts are in for 6.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pat McAfee to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. Ooh, with a juke. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive.
And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Derek Shelby in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Play action. It's Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th with Wilson. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Cliff Averill in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
And Folks' kick is good. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. To return, this is Doug Baldwin. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
23 yards on the play.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that 3rd down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a 1st down.
3rd time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on 3rd, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.